want your business to go to another level, you must try to learn and hear something new. So make a change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor. Toni Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Toni Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show. My name is Toni Harris Taylor. I am the host of the show and the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I partner with franchisors to teach their franchisees and friend development teams how to show up, be up, follow up to blow up. I also am a multi-unit award-winning franchisee with Network in Action, where we bring together business owners to create connections, collaborations, community, coaching, so that they can make more cash. Welcome to today's show. Today's show is about global franchising. And I just entered the franchise space 5 years ago, 3 years ago, started attending events, and I'm just fascinated by the industry itself. Last year, I went to Nairobi, Kenya, and ate at KFC. I'm going to tell you how bad my friends talked about me for going across the water, the other side of the world, to eat at KFC. I just had a taste for the chicken. I'm just saying. And so it was funny, but what it made me realize is franchising is everywhere. And I'm not sure that I knew McDonald's was everywhere. We went to Dubai. We ate at McDonald's. What is wrong with us? And then in the mall in Dubai, they had all the brands, the American brands. And it was just amazing to see. And so I'm going to the Philippines this year to meet the franchise community out there. Why? Because I am very passionate about helping people of other cultures understand the power of franchising. Stay tuned, more to come with that. But I recently met my guest, Aicha Bascaro, and she has a diverse background. She's lived in multiple countries with franchising, and I just can't wait for you to meet her, hear her story. And when I met her, she lit the fire even more so under me about global, multicultural franchising. So when we come back, we're going to meet Aicha Bascaro from the American Franchise Academy. We'll be right back.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Toni Harris Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Toni's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
We are back with my guest, Aicha Bascaro. I got it right?
Hi, Toni. It's Aicha. But yes, thank you for having me. Very excited about this conversation.
I am too. And I'm so grateful that we got connected and we get to talk about global franchising. So in your own words, introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Sure. Well, my name is Aicha Bascaro, and I'm the founder and CEO of the American Franchise Academy, which we just celebrated our 8th anniversary of existence. And what we do is we focus on supporting franchisees and giving them the knowledge, the tools, and the resources that they need to be able to go from a one-unit job into a franchise enterprise by going multi-unit. And that's what we do every day and service the franchise community.
So your story began as a crew member, or a pizza driver.
A pizza delivery driver. That's right. 37 years ago. Yeah, that was my accidental encounter with franchising. When after a failed business, by the way, I was 21 years old, almost 22, and looking for what my next step was going to be. And after going through a lot of work of school and business and failed business, I figured, you know what, I'm going to do something. I'm going to take a break from life and business and work. And I was thinking, oh, what could I do that would be fun? And a pizza delivery driver drove right in front of me. And I'm thinking, you know what a cool job. You get to drive around in your car, listen to music. Everybody's happy to see you. And you know what? That would be a great thing to do for a little while. And I actually went to my local Domino's pizza store and I applied for a job there. And within 2 days, I am a pizza delivery driver. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you go from pizza delivery to
CEO? Yep. Well, you know, it's funny because within, I think it was about 29 years, I went from pizza delivery driver to CEO of a brand. Basically, you know what? Doing, applying all of my talents, my knowledge, my curiosity on everything that I did. I first started, like I said, as a pizza delivery driver. I did that for a little while before I decided to become a career in my world. And so, but I was observing as I was being, a team member, I was observing that in the store, there were training books. The profit and loss statement was taped to the door of the manager. I could see all the materials and how people that would come in as a crew member, they become assistant managers and then unit managers. And they were practically doubling the income within 6 months. And I saw how that was possible. I was lucky that I happened to be in a corporate store that was implementing all of the systems and processes and procedures with a high level of excellence and commitment. And I experienced what franchising was at its best. And it inspired me. First of all, it let me know why I failed in my business. And then inspired me to make a career of it. And not because I'm a food person at all. I'm not a foodie at all, but I love processes, systems, procedures, structure, dependable, consistent results, right? And so I decided to accept the 27th offer of my district manager to become an assistant manager. And I did that. But by the time I was an assistant manager, I already learned a lot. So within 4 months, I became a GM, a general manager of a Domino's store in Dallas, Texas. I took the lowest volume store, then I turned it around, and then I took the next level store and I turned it around, and I end up within a year in the highest volume store in Dallas. We're competing with one from the South. And I was there for a little while, and my actual goal was to become a franchisee, because I don't know if you know this, Toni, but in Domino's, to be able to become a franchisee, you must be a successful unit manager for a year. That is a requirement. You have to be a manager, whether it's for a corporation or for a franchisee, and then the franchisee would certify that you were a successful unit manager, and then you can apply to become a franchisee. So that was my journey, my goal. But I wanted to be a franchisee in Guatemala because that's where I'm originally from, in Central America. And so during my year of being a manager, somebody else took the franchise in Guatemala. So that was my dream went away. And I don't know, for some reason, why I didn't think of being a franchisee in the US. My mom is from Guatemala. My dad's in Miami. So I've been back and forth all my life. And so anyway, so I just decided, I just stayed around. And then somebody said, hey, Aicha, you speak Spanish, you have a passport, you have traveled all your life. That's a pilot, by the way. So for me, traveling was nothing. And he said, you should apply for Domino's International. And there I am in the store, right? And I figured, why not? And so I called the corporate office at headquarters, Michigan. And I said, hey, this is me. This is what I'm looking for. Do you have an opportunity? And somebody said, yeah, we do. 2 weeks later, they flew me from Dallas to Michigan for an interview. And 2 weeks later after that, 3 weeks later after that, I am in Seville, Spain, opened the first Domino's in Seville for the master franchise there.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So that was at the beginning of my international career.
I have so many questions. So let's start with, what is the drastic mindset you have to go from a delivery driver to feel like you can go from one level to the next level and I get it, you already had an entrepreneurial spirit, but so many people hold themselves back because they think that's not me, right? Whether it's
not
our
possible, right?
It's not possible. Our gender, all of that. So what is the mindset that allowed you to make those drastic steps?
The mindset is we have one life. And if we do not capture everything that we can be in that one life, it will be sooner than we know it. And we would lose our chance. And this mindset really comes, I guess, back from before, this journey. And I guess I'm going to share something that I have never shared in a podcast before, Toni.
Okay.
I mentioned that I was originally from Guatemala, right? Well, when I was in high school in Guatemala, at some point in time, I actually was kidnapped in the country. And I said that if I survived that situation, I was going to live the best life possible because I thought it was over, So I don't want to get into those details of it, but I think that for some reason it takes an experience like that to shock you into life and losing the fear, because whatever was the worst possible thing that could happen to you already almost happened. And then you realize, you know what? Life's still here, so why waste it? Ooh. And so I would tell you that everything I've done in my life has been driven by that fact.
Wow. I hope when you speak, you share that. So, okay, so my next question is around, and let's face it, franchising's not really diverse, not a lot of multicultural going on in there. So tell me about being, and I know this is true, I don't even have to ask, the only Hispanic and the only woman in the room, and how you overcame that, I'm sure, many, many times.
Yeah, absolutely. From the moment I was a manager, I was the only female manager in Dallas, Texas. When I I went into international, there was one other trainer actually that was female, but eventually I became director of operations for various brands. I was the only female DO. And, it's funny because while I was the only leader at the team member level, it was pretty diverse. Like at the team member level, it's pretty diverse.
Right.
And the opportunity, and this is the thing, right? The opportunity, Toni, is always there. It's just that I think that the lack of belief, I really believe that the lack of belief that can be me. And so one of the things that I've done throughout my whole career is letting people know, if I can do it, you can do it. And, and everything that I know and learn, I always was a teacher, always. Like when I was a manager, anybody that was willing to listen within my store or my team about how to do everything, I will teach. and then I was able to build, my succession planning without even knowing that it was a succession planning, right?
Ah,
I was in the first store, and I, developed and manager took over when I went to the next store. And then when I was in that store, I developed the manager that could take over that store, because if I
right,
couldn't have that,
right.
I wouldn't be able to move up. So, and in situations there where in the second store, it was a lady. So for me, it was not really about specifically proactively trying to do that, but if you were willing to listen and learn, you would give everything you could need to be able to do what I do. And so I really think that opportunity is there, Tony. It's been there since 1987 when I started. It's just that people don't take it. Now, why they don't take it, that's a different conversation, right? That's something
Right.
else, because the opportunity has always been there, and I just took it. I'm like, I'm
I'm
grabbing this
with
thing,
you.
and I'm going to make it happen. And I was way ahead of a lot of people for no other reason other than I had zero fear as to what could happen, or question as to whether I could do it or not. Right.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So you and I are right here, because I always operate from a space of, if someone else can do it, so can I. Because they're not any more different or special than I am. I don't care about culture, race, whatever. If they can do it, so can I. The question becomes, do I really want it? And that's the thing I think holds a lot of people back. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk more about the American Franchise Academy. And then I'm going to ask you the two questions I always ask my guests. We'll be right back with Aicha. Wait a minute. I got it. Aicha Bascaro. All right, we are back with Aicha Bascaro of the American Franchise Academy. So take me, how did you start the academy from your
Yes.
corporate career?
Yeah. So, and that's something really interesting, because I have been truly a career corporate executive in the franchise world. After I joined the international team, I was literally total of 3 months short of 20 years with Domino's. I basically did every possible job, lived in 14 countries around the world, did, operations. I led a region of 60 plus restaurants for the company Atlanta region in 3 states. I even run a distribution center for a little while. And that was the last journey with that brand. And then I went 5 years with Popeyes and did international corporate in operations. Then I moved on to Darden Restaurants. I run, again, the Atlanta and Alabama operations. And the last position was as the leader of the brand Pretzel Maker. I did that for a little while. And, at the end, I decided to take a sabbatical and try to help my kids go into high school, because, yes, I'm married, I'm a mom, I've done all that at the same time. And I was going to take sabbatical for the first time in a long time. And I had to decide whether I was going to be a franchisee or do my own thing. And at that point, I started getting phone calls from the brands I used to work for and from franchisees asking for my help, my guidance, my consulting. I didn't even know what a consultant was, didn't know how to charge. So I became the accidental consultant. And what I realized is that what the franchisees were asking me was guidance on how to run the business. Obviously, the franchisors do a great job at guiding the franchisees on how to manage the brand, how to duplicate the proven brand, product, service, image, marketing, anything that has to do with the brand, the experience of the customers. That's what the franchisors do. But they don't teach them how to run, a franchise business, right? That's that's a whole other, it's like a career, it's a school. And so if the franchisee does not come with the business acumen of how to manage the business side, then that's when there's challenges. And so when I realized how many people were asking me all these questions and how I was able to help them, that's when the academy was born, and then I realized that I didn't want to be a consultant in a matter of me going and doing things on their behalf, because that's how I started. I would go to their businesses and do things on their behalf. What was very frustrating is that when I left, they did not continue the work because they did not know how to do it. Right. And so I decided that through the academy, what we do now is we now teach franchisees how to implement the processes, the procedures, the systems, and how to define their policies, how to document them so that they can then teach their leaders everything that they want, the way they want to do it. And that way they can give them the information so that their leaders can run their operations. And this is how franchisees are able to go from one unit. They teach the manager how to do everything, and then they have another unit and they teach them how to do all the policies and procedures to be profitable. And we help them build a management manual. So they end up having an ops manual from the brand that with all the operations procedures for the brand, and then we co-create with them a management manual with all the business procedures. And that's how whenever they open a new store, the new manager, here's your ops manual, here's your management manual. New store, ops manual, management manual. And so all the questions are answered in those two documents.
Well, I already know a couple of people I have to introduce you to, because I love your process and how you're helping them to actually run a successful business and have a great team. So we got to keep it moving. So let me ask you this question. How has networking helped you grow your business?
When I went from being a corporate executive, when all the franchisees and people came to me, and I've been having my own business and me having to go and find the people, that was a very interesting challenge for me, because it's completely different from what I ever known. So while I'm still a franchise expert, I'm certainly not a sales expert. I am not a funnel expert. I'm not at all. I did not know anything about that. So I had to learn all of that. And through trial and error in the early years of the academy, I realized that the number one way for me to grow my business was one-to-one. I needed to go and network and build a relationship and have people know me and know what I do and what I know and my history, because I've been in 4 powerful brands and I spent all my career in those powerful brands. So when I left Domino's, if you ask anyone in that enormous organization who Aicha Bascaro was, 95% of the people in the office, in the headquarters, in the office, everybody, but in the franchise world, I would say 95% of the people will know who I was. In Popeyes, I was there for only 5 years. I would say that half of them would know who I was. So I'm known within those brands, but not outside of those brands. And so I had to really work hard. So for me, it was reaching out one-to-one in my network and conferences. I had done a tremendous, it's going to be huge. This is half of our exposure is through conferences. Building a network, getting to know people, building relationships is being critical. Without that, we would not be where we are today.
Wow. I love that, especially going from corporate to solopreneur. That's a drastic leap as well. Speaking of drastic, and this might take you a second, what's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in life or business?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I would say I have one of each. I would say in life is when I left Guatemala as a 19-year-old with $500 in my pocket and came to the United States. When I got here, my dad said, "No, you belong in Guatemala." My parents were divorced. "You belong in Guatemala with your mom." And I said, "Well, thank you very much." And I went to Texas. And I was 19, and that, they didn't know where I was or what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to come to this amazing country of opportunity and be able to be the best and the most that I could be. And that can only be possible for me as a female, in the United States, Yeah. And so for me, that was, my friends still are shocked that I did that. Everybody's like, how could you do that at 19? Because in Guatemala, you don't do that at 19. Right. So I'd say that was the personal drastic one. Yeah. And for the career, it was leaving the corporate. I mean, I was a 27 career executive, with a 6-figure plus income. I was very comfortable and financially free, But I wanted to do this so I could make a difference in the franchisees world. There's many people that are helping in the franchisors. They have plenty of help. Franchisees do not have enough help. And our purpose at the Academy is to protect the American dream of business ownership through franchising. And that's what we do every day. And making that jump from corporate into my own business was a drastic decision.
Oh, wow. Well, you've got a couple books behind you. So tell us about your book.
Yes, my very first client in consulting asked me, he hired me and he said, Aicha, I cannot ask you all the questions. Can you please write a book? And I'm like, oh, writing a book, that sounds kind of like fun. And he actually asked me that, in July of 2016. And actually, I was looking with my office manager and realized that 11 months later, I published my book, The Franchise Fix. And that is this book, The Franchise Fix, that you can find on Amazon right now. But however, as a gift for everybody in the audience that is listening to us or watching us today, you can see below there is a link that says thefranchisefixbook.com. If you can go there and download a PDF copy of my book. I promise you that if you are a franchisee or a small business owner, that book has gold for you. It will help you improve how you manage your people, how you manage your costs, and increase your profitability. So download the book. It's free. It's a gift from me to your audience, Toni.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to download the book. And then you can also reach her at AmericanFranchiseAcademy.com. So I am coming to your town next month, and you and I going to eat. And I'm going to bring some people together who need to meet you, and you need to meet them. I'm excited about that. And so, Aicha, thank you. Thank you so much for reaching out to me on LinkedIn, having a first date one-to-one with me. And here we are. I'm excited for where we're going to go together.
Thank you, Toni. I really appreciate it. And whatever I can be of service, please reach out to me.
I will. We'll be right back after this message. Can you say, wow? Man, she is a powerhouse. I'm so glad she reached out to me on LinkedIn, and our journey is beginning together. I can see us doing some drastic things together. So make sure you connect with Aicha. Don't forget to pick up the book, show up to blowup.com. If you want to have a one-to-one with me, listen, let's have a one-to-one. That's what happened. Aicha reached out to me to have a one-to-one, and she wanted to be on my show. We got on a call, and here we are. So schedule a one-to-one at meetwithtoniharristaylor.com. And then stay tuned. More to come on Global Multicultural Franchise Connectors. I'll just drop that right there. This is Toni Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll talk to you real soon.